What's up, YouTube? Capital G here, DN Duel commentary. We've got Watt Giraffe at the top, 1429, representing what other than Watts, and we've got BD of Reese's. I don't know how to pronounce that. 1720. So this is Watts versus Evilswarms. It looks like BD has infestation, infection that he got off the Ophion. Ophion not so bueno against Watts. So yeah. I think that this match favors Watts. I believe this has to be at least game 2 because I saw them playing and the field was definitely not like this. So this is at least game 2. Now you see a quick activation of Thunder Seahorse, which I believe got 2 more Thunder Seahorses. And then we're going to see a T-set. It looks like, nope. Set monster plus 2. And Watts they don't run a ton of back row. Anyways, one of them gets blasted with MST, and that's Nightmare, which I'm not sure if that was going to do a lot anyway, because this guy can search pandemic virus, and I imagine he's going to. So you see during the end phase, it looks like Heliotrope is going to be traded in for probably Kirkion. I mean, Kirkion is like the go-to card of the deck, as far as making exceeds and shit like that. So you see Kirkion is tagged in from Infestation Infection. And play is now up to BD. And you see that he ditches what is your name again? I want to say Magdragora. Magdragora. Okay. He tags or he detaches Magdragora to get a pandemic virus, and I mean, now his Kirkion play should be relatively safe. I mean, unless his opponent has like a warning or something like that. But it's like, maybe you should just wait for the inevitable XC play. Regardless, it looks like Magdragora is going to get banished. And then Caster is going to hit the field. So Caster is, well, that's an additional normal summon. And then he gets another additional normal summon from Thunderbird. And it looks like he's going in. So what's going to happen here? Ooh, Firehand gets hit. And Firehand blows up Thunderbird. And then Ice Hand hits the deck in defense mode. And I guess that kind of puts a halt on what BD was obviously trying to do there. You see in main phase 2, BD is going to go for an XC. And you wonder if maybe he's going to go into Black Ship of Corn and try and pop the monster. Now, Black Ship of Corn don't got no protection. But it doesn't matter, apparently, as it gets the job done. So, BD just passes turn. This back row has to be really good. Okay, we see Ma Thunder. Maybe we'll see Seahorse. Oh, never mind. Okay, so he does not use the effect because he can't. It gets hit with Breakthrough Skill. And then he plays Kaiser Seahorse. Thunder Seahorse, sorry. Thunder Seahorse, which gets a couple of Pot Thunders. Now, here's what that honest. I was going to say, I wonder if BD will be able to survive this turn because you know he's going to obviously use Infestation Infection again. Well, assuming he has another Evilswarm in hand, that is. But, I mean, he could draw one, so he could draw. He gets basically two shots. If, he can either have an Evilswarm in his hand or he could just draw one for his next turn. So, what? Watt Giraffe says he's doing some calculations. Dude, if you're doing calculations, you better have some heavy shit. Your opponent, okay, he just decides to set a card and then pass back to his opponent. I'm like, dude, your opponent is at 8k. If you're seriously calculating, I mean, with Honest, you don't really have to calculate. You just fucking attack. So it looks like he decides to just go ahead and attack with Ophion. And he gets that attack in. So you're what? 1400? So you lose 1150. And then Black Ship of Corn activates, or Black Ship of Corn attacks, rather. And then you see BD sets a Speller Trap. Now, at some point, you just know that Watt Giraffe wants to simplify this game. He wants to Exoton his opponent. Don't get it twisted. You know he wants to do that. Or what he might want to do is go 101 and then snatch still the Ophion and then ram into the Black Ship of Corn and still save his 101 in the process. So, okay, he goes for Constellar Omega, which I would assume is going to run over Black Ship of Corn. And Black Ship of Corn is attacked, and Black Ship of Corn dies. And now we see an M7 come down. I'd like M7 a lot more if he had Honest. If he had Honest in his graveyard, I'd like it a lot more. Regardless, the Ophion can't beat over it. So, I mean, that's good for him. And he's got 3 back row. Honestly, I kind of say advantage him because he has the bigger monster on board. It's not like Ophion can magically go into another Xyz or something like that. Like, there is no Evilswarm M7. You know what I mean? They need that. That's what the Evilswarm needs right now. They need an Xyz that can be played over an Evilswarm Xyz that's like as good as Ophion. That's what they need. And they needed to banish one card on your opponent's side of the field. A monster. Because Ophion, he's great, but he gets shit on by the hand cards. So anyway, we see a Soul Charge for 3 and an immediate Xyz. He goes into Diamond Direwolf. I guess he's just going to try and pop the M7. Is that what he's going to do? Okay, so BD says, I'm going to use my effect on M7. I guess. I'm not going to say he's using it on... Okay, so he is using it on M7. M7 dies, and so does the what's it called? The Diamond Direwolf. And now it looks like he's going to activate Kirkion's effect to get Thunderbird on field? Maybe? Okay. Yeah, he gets Thunderbird on field. And you know what? That's good, because not only can Thunderbird dodge shit like Dark Hole, which I'm not sure would hurt him anyway because he has the pandemic virus, but he can just tag out one of these guys for another Kirkion in the hand anyway. So you see he uses Infection, and he's going to pay the cost, and unfortunately it gets MST'd, so that sucks for him. I'd probably take this time to use Thunderbird's effect just to power it up. And that's exactly what he does. So at least when it comes back, it's 19k? 1950k. Alright, so you see BD just sets both cards. And if you're Watt Giraffe, you know that you can pretty much ignore one of them because it's Pandemic Virus. You see him activate Recycling Batteries. And he gets 2 Moth Thunders. This is high risk. Oh man, he used Duality, so he's not even gonna try for. He's not gonna try for the He's not gonna try for the Xyz play. I don't think Solemn Warning is good in that situation. I don't like Solemn Warning because you don't have the life points. So he takes Watt Giraffe, which obviously he named himself after, and then he sets a card. If I'm BD, I'm gonna ram that. I do not believe that that is a fire or an ice hand. You just use Recycling Batteries, and you have a Watt Giraffe too. Yeah, I didn't believe it either. I just would have attacked. I probably would have attacked with Thunderbird also. Now, here's the question. Now, you see that BD obviously could not kill Watt Giraffe. I 1,000% believe... Oh, never mind. I was going to say I 1,000% believe he was going to go for Exciton Knight. And it looks like he warninged it. He said, never mind. We're not even going to experiment with you putting Exciton Knight on board. And at this point, you just summon everything and attack, and you know that you've got the Pandemic Virus. Now, I wouldn't have even summoned the caster. I just would have attacked. Okay, and that was Duel 2. So it looks like we're going to a Duel 3. Excellent. So, alright, if I'm Watt Giraffe, I keep saying his name, but thinking of the monster and thinking that that's not his name. Literally, I think of him, but I say the name and then I think of the monster, and it confuses me. But, okay, if I'm Watt Giraffe, I'm bringing in the Black Horns, obviously. I do not believe Evilswarm can beat Watts without Xing. I just don't. And Ophion's not even good against that deck. I'm bringing in the Black Horns. Maybe Fossil Dyna. Fossil Dyna is very strong against Evilswarm. Because, I mean, if they try and just go off on you and you set a Fossil Dyna, they just, they don't really have a way of combating that card. And for them to even special summon Magnagora, you have to have more monsters than them. So, alright, you see a Duality that he opened up with. Trap Trick, Trap Hole Nightmare, Moth Thunder, and Pot Thunder. I thought he was going to take Nightmare, but whatever. Okay, so I guess he's not decided on the Nightmare, which I think is pretty obvious, because how much damage can you really do with a Pot and Moth Thunder, especially when you're going first? And you use Duality, so it's not like you'd be able to put any Xyz on board anyway. I think you just set maybe Moth Thunder and like a Fire Hand or something, or you know, maybe just a couple of cards, because Evilswarm are notoriously known for trying to go for Exoton like turn 1, just like Infernity. Watt Giraffe is thinking about it. Okay, so he decides to take Ma Thunder, which kind of means you're looking for a play maybe further out. Maybe he has the Watt Giraffe play, and he's looking to get that established. Watt Giraffe play is very strong. Just believe it. All right, so you see that Watt Giraffe, he sets 2, and then he sets a monster. And BD summons Caster. You wonder if he's going to use the extra summon for Thunderbird, which he does. And it looks like Watt Giraffe is thinking. I'm not sure what there is to think about. If you do anything, he's going to trigger Thunderbird. You can't bottomless it because it'll just dodge bottomless. Unless you go like bottomless plus breakthrough skill, you don't want to use 2 cards on 1. But I think if you're BD, I just think you attack. Okay, so he uses Book of Moon on the caster. Now, I wouldn't be sure what to think here. Yeah, okay, that's a smart move because he can still use MST, or he can still technically chain this. Ooh, wiretap. So the book resolves, and it looks like he's going to attack the face down monster. And it was Watt Giraffe. Oh, man. That's no good. That's really, really no good. And huge advantage BD right now. In a match where I thought that Watt Giraffe should just coast the victory. And I'm not talking about this one in the graveyard dead. I'm talking about the duelist. But now, I mean, BD has full field advantage. In fact, Watt Giraffe has nothing on board. And usually when you have usually when it's like this, you like to try and reset the game by going for an Exoton Knight. But it doesn't look like that's going to happen because BD immediately uses Fiendish Chain on the Ma Thunder. And you know what? Off the Kaiser Seahorse, I would probably activate Thunderbird's effect, if for no other reason, just to power it up, just to get the extra 300 damage in. Because I want to end this duel as quick as possible, or at least do it on the duality. Like literally, there's no reason for him not to be using Thunderbird's effect right now. And that's probably the last card Watt Giraffe's going to activate was that duality. He took MSC, by the way. And play goes back to BD. He decides to play Macrocosmos. I guess trying to lock out Honest. Okay, well, he's going to chain his Thunderbird to the Macro. So it's going to come back. Again, this is not technically a summon. It's just being placed on the field. So you can't actually torrential that. Now he flip summons Caster. Oh, and he has Rescue Rabbit. Holy fuck. And if that's an MST face down, this is not a good look. I mean, granted, okay, let's say he has MST plus Honest, then it immediately becomes a good look. Unless he goes for Black Ship of Corn, then it's a bad look again. If he goes for Black Ship of Corn, it's a really bad look. Alright, so BD is just going to ram everything. Maybe this last card in hand is Pandemic Virus. And unfortunately, he did not have MST Honest combination. And it looks like he's going to eat a bunch of attacks to the face. And he only has 50 life points. That's unfortunate. Nope, I'm sorry. I miscalculated. He has 1,800 left. So, okay, if I'm BD, I want Exceeds right now that make advantage. I want, and granted, because of the way that the field and the graveyard are really set up, there's no Dagasto Emerald, you know, that he could really use here, especially with Macro. Macro doesn't allow anything to go to the graveyard. So if I'm going to go for an extra deck card with the Heliotrope, I don't know what his hand is, but with one in hand, if you go for Ophion, and you're like all Exceeds basically right now are created equal, I might consider going 101 in defense mode. Because at least if my opponent bottomlesses it, it survives. But if that's a Black Horn of Heaven, everything dies to Black Horn of Heaven. So like there's really no difference. And nobody really plays Maelstrom anymore for some reason. He goes for Ophion. And holy shit. Yo, Wild Giraffe is talking mad trash. He says if you don't run Giant Hand, you lose. Oh my, we have got to see this. Wild Giraffe is immediately popping off. He's saying, dude, I'm about to run this shit back something fierce. And okay, we're gonna make some predictions here. Alright, no hand traps will be used because of Macrocosmos. This face down could be. I was thinking it could be wiretap, but it doesn't change anything. If it's Mystical Space Typhoon, obviously you just go for whatever the hell BD sets. If BD sets, what's it called? If BD sets if BD sets like Pandemic Virus, then you MST it. But I'm wondering how he plans on coming. Just because you Exciton Knight somebody does not guarantee you're gonna come back. Because not in the world with Soul Charge and shit. Let's say he Exciton Knights him, right? Okay, this hits graveyard, this hits graveyard, this hits graveyard, this hits graveyard too. That's 4 monsters in graveyard, right? All it takes BD to do is just top deck a Kirkion and then make Heart Draco dude and just attack you directly. So it's going to be interesting to see what Watt Giraffe does. Maybe he's trying to psych BD out. Okay, so you see he does not go for an Xyz. He sets a card. I wonder if Watt Giraffe's going to MST in the end phase, which he does. It's Infestation Infection. Or no, wait. That's Pandemic Virus. Yep, that's Pandemic Virus. And now again, it's very important to know that BD can't use any effects right now. He has Macro on board, so there will be no Maxis or Veilers. And he has 6 cards to Watt Giraffe's 4. And let's see what happens here. Yeah, and Pandemic Virus goes to be banished. So does MST for that matter, actually. And it's not relevant. Don't nobody play Spell Striker. They ain't relevant. So Wild Giraffe was doing some big talking, and I wonder how the chat responded to that. But I want to see. And now he's saying you might win. What? Dude, come on. 20 seconds ago, you were basically claiming yourself. You made your claim to fame, saying that you were going to run this shit back. Alright, so now you see Pot Thunder and Sis Thunder. And it looks like he's wisely going to use Thunderbird's effect off of either one of them. It doesn't really matter. He can use it off the Pot or the Sis. Now, Watt Giraffe was banished. He's going for an Xyz here. He doesn't technically have to make Exciton Knight. He could just go 101 and then attack this. It's not like Casper's going anywhere. I'm not sure if he'd want to do that. So Watt Giraffe is looking at his extra deck. I'm trying to think of what else he could do. There are no monsters in graveyard, so there's no chance of him going for like M7 or anything like that. And also, I wouldn't want to do that either. I'd want to get rid of both monsters at the same time. 101 does that. What else? 101 does that. Exciton Knight does that. That's pretty much it. That's pretty much the only way he can get rid of both monsters is by going Exciton Knight or 101. So those are the only ones I would assume he's going to actually use. And there's no way he's going to leave Ophion. There's no way he's going to leave Ophion on board because that he knows that if he doesn't kill it, it's going to get him another copy of Infestation Infection. So that's definitely no good. And he's still thinking about what he wants to go into. I don't know. Okay, I guess Wild Giraffe, after talking all of that junk, isn't going to go into the obvious Ophion or the obvious Exciton Knight and try and play it out. Granted, if his opponent, top decks a level 4, he probably is going to lose. But whatever. I mean, I say you just go for Exciton Knight or roll the dice on the card. I'd leave it. No, wait, it would get run over by Thunderbird, so you can't leave it in attack mode. Well, I mean, you can, but you could have Honest, I guess. Okay, so he goes for 101. He's going to take the Ophion. He's going to attack Caster. And what we could see here is a quick 101 over 101. So in the end phase, in the end phase, right, Pot Thunder goes back to Watt Giraffe. And I don't think BD has a monster. I think maybe he might draw one, but I don't think he has one in his hand. He says Yu-Gi-Oh! and that's exactly what I thought. I thought he didn't have a monster. I think he was looking to draw one. Now his Thunderbird will come back to the field. Yeah, there are tons of ways out. You can have Torrential Tribute. I mean, that's a good way out. Okay, so he obviously didn't draw a monster, and Watt Giraffe is actually back into this duel. Now this guy's 1900, but he can easily get ran over by that, especially if Watt Giraffe just attacks. But he could be opened up to something like an evac device or a Fiendish Chain, which would at least stall him. Okay, and it doesn't seem to happen. Thunderbird just dies. Whoa! Okay, Nobleman Crossout totally does not stop Myrmilio. Oh, okay. Torrential Tribute does hurt. So Torrential Tribute takes out Myrmilio, although she does get her Bottomless. And that's unfortunate that he revealed Crossout, because now he's never gonna set anything for the rest of the game. He's just gonna attack, attack, attack. Even if, okay, he does decide to set. So he takes 21 from the 101, and Crossout is immediately played on what now? What did you set, Watt Giraffe? Okay, he set Paw Thunder. And play goes back to Watt Giraffe, who has totally turned this duel around. It's amazing. And it looks like he's going to XC up. I think he's going to go for Omega. He does. He goes for Omega. And holy shit, he ran it back. Wow. Okay, so apparently talking like you have balls the size of grapefruit apparently works in Yu-Gi-Oh! Because he completely ran it back. Thank you guys for watching as always.